Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is turn 19 of our multiplayer Dominions 4 7-player free-for-all. And it is year 2 in the Ascension Wars. It looks like Vanheim has claimed another throne. We are enlivening Sentinels, and Pawns found a magic site in the Great Feral, so that's good. There was a battle in Mightmarsh. We took on the Independents. This is the area with the Knights that was just north of Ulm's capital. Knights versus Blessed Shardguard. And the Blessed Shardguard come out ahead because of the regeneration. And they are retreating. So we ended up losing nothing at all. And then we also attacked Urmor in Salam. This is the last province of Urmors that they have that are not their capital. We do like it hot, so I'm wondering if the coldness... Well, we are cold resistant. Okay. So that's okay. Could be worse. Or did I have that we like it cold? I'll have to check that. Oak Halls was taken back over from Vanheim. This was not an attack on their part. I had just taken it from them for one turn in order to move through it. Salam, we had a famine. And Bethany, we had a witch who was caught, so we have 3 misfortune, but we gained some magic in the short run. Not a big deal. So I do not wish to fight Ulm, because at this point we are still at peace. So I am moving back to Shilad in order to kind of guard this guy while he's building the fort. And this will become really important in future episodes to understand this. He is building a fort, and it's going to take him 4 months. Now, I mistakenly believe that the fort is built first thing in the turn in which it's due. But that is not true. Battles are actually resolved before the fort goes up. Even if it's on the turn, the fort should go up. So Pawns here found the Boiling Bog. He's going up here. In Salam, this troop is going over to Jabero because now I'm going to start trying to go underwater in the only way that I'm currently allowed to, which is here in Black Gorge. Meanwhile, we're building a fortress in Black Peaks, which is 1 month away from completion. John Muir is continuing to search for nature sites. And in Agartha, J. Camo is finally moving out to White Peaks. My plan initially is for him to take out Haloma. That's where we're headed, although those plans get frustrated a bit later. And we're continuing to build Shardguard and Defenders of the Halls with an Earth Reader, because research could be a little bit better. So now we're going full bore Conjuration in order to get Ruach's Pact at Conjuration 3. And that is essentially this turn. I'm moving my scouts around. As you can see here, this is like the height of Agarthan, or not Agarthan, Asphodelian power. They're here in Talito. Right now, Rivia is neutral, so I'm parking my scout there. Sneaky Pete, he's just keeping an eye on things over there. I have another scout moving up here. This is Stealthy Sam. He's moving to Stone Heavens. In Oak Halls, I have Hidden Henry moving up to Urmor, which is currently under siege by Vanheim. I have Sneaky Sam. I guess another Sneaky Sam. I guess I have 2 Sneaky Sams. Yeah. Oh, this is Stealthy Sam, and this is Sneaky Sam. Well, Sneaky Sam's moving down to the Sinks. We have Tricky Dick in Anphalia. And I think those are that's our scout corps. So now we're going to do turn 20. Alright. Another throne claimed by Vanheim. We're enlivening Sentinels. John Muir did found a magic site in Muspel. We get to see Independents attacking Shinuyama in Stone Heavens. That's interesting to watch. It's a Barbarian Horde attack. And they have only got... they've got nothing. They've got a Bakemono General. So they lost, obviously. And we killed a Vanheim scout somewhere. And the fortress in Black Peaks was completed. So now we're here hanging out in Chalad. I am moving Vitiges down here to be able to build a temple and a lab at some point. Pawns is searching Simri. I'm moving... Oh, these are just troops, I guess. I'm sending someone to pick them up. I think I'm sending Stonefinger to pick them up. So, Haloma, which I was aiming for, was taken by Vanheim. So rather than risk a war with Vanheim, I'm moving my army with J Camo up here to Golem Range. Meanwhile, I'm moving the Golem Range leader Than to Black Peaks. And finally, with Lighthawk, I'm entering the sea. Lighthawk can do that because he has only amphibious units. Birdiebot, of course, cannot because she is not amphibious. So she's claiming the throne, and Topagog is claiming building a fortress. Meanwhile, in the capital, I'm building a Golem Crafter because I know I'm going to be getting the Magma Children soon, and I've got more Shard Guard and Defenders. In fact, I might already have... Well, I have a couple Sentinels here, but I think I might already have... Not quite. So I know I'm one turn away, essentially. So I'm moving to Alteration now, too. So I'm researching Conjuration to get to Magma Children, and then Alteration, because there's some good buffing spells there. Now we can finally see what's going on in Ermor. You can see that Vanheim has about 80 units besieging it. Which is funny, because if you look here, what does he have? He has Agarthan troops. Wet ones, which is really weird. I'm going to park my scout here in Stone Heavens, because it is a neutral province, and I can. The situation hasn't changed over here with Shiniyama and Asphodel. But you could see here that Ulm has this gigantic army guarding its capital. I used to think, erroneously, naively, that Asphodel was here, and so he was just guarding against Asphodel. But in reality, he's planning an attack against me, because this is guarded by somebody. I don't know who. Alright. 21. Alright, Birdiebot has claimed the Brass Throne. Pawns did not find a magic site. So we get to watch a good Shinuyama attack... I should say a good Shinuyama army attack the neutrals. Here, so you can kind of see what they have here. They have their little Bakemono. They have Dai Bakemono. Lots of them. Looks like he's choosing the longbow ones. And they're led by Tortuga-san. So this is his god, I guess. Immortal, fire resistant, 8 fire, 4 death. Not bad. They, of course, won. Alright, Black Gorge. This is our first undersea battle. The Agarthans have reclaimed the ocean, or are trying to reclaim the ocean. This is an interesting force here because we do have a Kraken. We have a bunch of Sea Trolls. We do have a Hydromancer with tons of gems. So they could pose a threat, potentially. They're sending the cannon fodder Tritons after me first. Now, Trolls regenerate, but they are unarmored. So their regeneration versus our regeneration. And you can see who comes out ahead. So, we lost nothing. Now, Ulm is attacking us in Might Marsh. Now, bear in mind, this is the first act of hostility. I have not, up until this point, been hostile against Ulm. I did take Might Marsh, which was in their cap circle, but it was owned by neutrals, and he had not made any effort to take it. So, and it was a farmland province. But so here we see him attacking Might Marsh. And this is very interesting, because he's attacking with this ridiculous little force here, which is a mercenary force. I guess he was just testing it out to see what kind of defenders I had there. I don't know what he was trying to do, honestly. But he succeeded, and he captured the province. I put a token province defense, not very much. But here, this is the highlight of this episode, folks. This shows you that Vanheim, though strong, though overpowering, is not immortal. Look at all these. Look at all these Vans. Okay, he's got his supply boars. He's got his Agarthans. And all Ermor has is basic tier 1 undead troops. A few cavalry, but not much. But what he does have is the ability to summon multitudes of skeletons. I was amazed when I saw this the first time. I was just like, I thought Ermor was done for. I thought Vanheim was just too strong. But Ermor is actually a good foil for Vanheim because the Vans are elite troops, especially when blessed. But if you just keep overwhelming them, having them attacked from all sides by chaff, eventually they're gonna slow down. Especially chaff with no morale. So that never runs away. That just keeps coming and coming and coming. See, as you can see, they're not really doing much harm to him, but every little hit counts. You know, 1 damage here, 2 damage there, but it adds up. I've never really played Vanheim, so I can't estimate how much money Wadestar lost in this battle, money worth of troops. I'm not exactly sure how expensive Vans are, how many of them you can produce a turn, if they're capital only or what. But he's having a bad day. That one just got frozen. The human troops are getting flanked. The archers are being attacked. The commanders are okay so far. They're attacking the boars. Again, the Vans are holding. They are amazing troops, especially Blessed. But just more and more skeletons just keep coming. And they've got some kind of chill effect, too. Probably from whatever spells cast on them. And it's done. The armies of Vanheim are routed. Ermor has taken control of their capital province once again. It's so funny because when you think of Ermor in this Middle Age, you think of it as this horde of rampaging skeletons, and you think that they're the big bad, right? They're the evil bad guy. But in this multiplayer game, it's really Vanheim who is the big challenge. I mean, Vanheim is the player who is by far stronger, has more provinces than anybody else. So it's in this case, it's kind of a David versus Goliath, where normally Ermor would be this big, hulking Goliath, but instead Ermor is the little David who took out Goliath. And in Chelad, we got an air gem. So here's the situation. They've got nothing in Might Marsh, but I'm getting a little nervous here because my fortress is still 2 turns. So I'm doing the math, and I'm thinking, okay, if they send a big army from Ulm, it'll take 2 turns to get to Chelad. By that point, the fortress will be up. So I decided to leave Bertiebot and her army here. This is a big mistake that's going to be hurting me a bit later in the game. We took Black Gorge, so now I'm going after Moonsea. Meanwhile, in Agartha, we're still enlivening Sentinels because we're not quite... Wait, I thought we were at Ruax Pact. We are at Ruax Pact, so I'm not sure why I'm not using it. And we're moving J Camo down to the Great Feral. Stonefinger is just... Where is Stonefinger going? I guess he's going to the Golem range because he's an Agarthan, so he's amphibious, I think is my idea, so he can like back up this army by going under the water. And in Bethany, I'm just reducing Defenders of the Halls. In Agartha, Shard Guard, Defenders, and 1 Pale 1 Soldier. Another Golem Crafter, because we're going to start doing some magic. Alright, turn 22. Alright, so we have our alteration research done. Asphodel claimed the Throne of Winter. We're enlivening more Sentinels. John Moore found nothing. We have another battle of Shinuyama against Independence, so they quickly quashed those 2 Independents. This one's a smaller army, but again, Dai Bakemono, and they're led by a prophet, Yukinaga, who is a... I'm not sure what actual unit. He's a Dai Bakemono leader, I guess. Just some barbarians. They take it easily. We're moving into Moonsea with Lighthawk's army, I believe. Yeah. I just wanted to see this one because I had never seen these creatures before. I don't know if they're new in a patch or what, but I don't remember Marrows. So I just wanted to see what they were all about. They seem to be pretty decent. They are amphibious. They're a strange breed of merfolk that resemble ugly, fish-eyed, green-skinned men with webbed feet and green hair. So they're basically ugly merfolk. And we're able to take them out. We do, however, lose 3 of our 5 Ancient Stone Hurlers because they can't throw stones under the water and they ran out to the front and got killed. Tiosh, Raiders. Alright, so here's where I see this gigantic army, and this is about the point where I realize by moving a scout down here, that Ulm is not under threat. Like, this whole time I was operating under the assumption that Ulm was just barely hanging on by a toenail against the assault of Asphodel. But if you look here, it's pretty clear that Man is just defeating Asphodel, and now Ulm, who Man is there to protect, has nowhere to go. He must have some kind of peace treaty with Vanheim, he must have some kind of peace treaty with Shinuyama, and he must have some kind of peace treaty with Man. So as a result, where does he send his force? But to Agartha, because that's the only thing he can do. But meanwhile, I'm still feeling confident here. It's one turn until the fortress is remaining. I believe the fortress will go up before the army makes it here. I know for a fact that's where he's headed. But I miscalculate because the army attacks before the fortress is built. So if I knew that, if I was prepared for that, I would have had Bertiebot get out of here. I would have had her go to Nidian range and live to fight another day. But instead, I mistakenly believe that we're going to be put under siege, and I figure when we're focusing on the gate, defending the gate, my regenerating Shard Guard will more than handle Ulma's troops. But that was a bad strategic blunder on my part, which was based on not understanding the build order. Meanwhile, Ermor has its place back, and I'm moving from Marrow Sea to Typhian Sea. And we have a follow-up unit of amphibious troops heading down into Black Gorge. Jay Camo's moving to Bithini to, at some point in the future, assist Bertiebot. Because again, I think she's going to be put under siege. And that's that. I'm just kind of viewing Ulm's area, which, by the way, he has no troops anywhere. This is literally the entirety of his army. Incomplete. I mean, it's just... Again, I have a few frustrations with this multiplayer game, but one of them is the fact that it's not truly a free-for-all. There's all these blocks. You know, there's the Council of the Living, there's all this nonsense. And I feel like in a real game, with players who aren't YouTube personalities, but are just interested in winning the game, Man and Shinuyama would take this instant to do some harm to Ulm. But because everybody's, again, in these little blocks here, they're letting him do what he wants. So, meanwhile, Vanheim is just soaking up throne after throne after throne, and no one, with the exception of Ermor, is fighting them. What else is going on? Agartha, more Shard Guard. I've got another Oracle of the Ancients on the way, Defenders. This is pretty much what you're going to be seeing from Agartha forever. Wish I could build more Shard Guard. Bithini is just Defenders. Black Peaks, Defenders. The reason why I'm focusing on Defenders is because they have a defense bonus. So I figure if they're trapped inside the fortress when it goes under siege, they'll be able to hold out for a while. Plus, they are do not need to eat. So they're just an all-around good unit for fortress defense, which is kind of the mode I'm falling into right now. The Brass Throne, for like a hot second, gave me 1 Earth and Fire Gem and 50 gold, which is great. Any gold is better than none. And so that's kind of the situation at this point. In research, I do now focus full alteration, so you should see in in Agartha here, you should see, let's see, Ruach's Pact. Ruach's Pact, Ruach's Pact. The funny thing is even though I want a ton of Sentinels, because they are sacred, they suck to research, because you only get 1 at a time. Whereas with Ruach's Pact, you get a ton. So it's more, plus I have a ton more Fire Gems than Earth Gems, as you can see here. So it's more in my best interest to focus on Magma Children production, which is what I have been doing from this turn forward, simply because I have a lot more gems to spend. My water gems are worthless to me. I can't do anything with them. I guess it's possible for you to get a Oracle that has, no, the best, well, yeah, the best you can do is 2 water. Not a lot you can do with that. And I think that's about it for this turn. We do have some death gems too, which might come in handy, because there are some national death spells that Agartha gets. But essentially, the strategic problem right now is that no one dares do anything against Vanheim. Ulm is heading straight for me, because I think he's, at this point, I think he's given up on winning the game. Like, the fact that he is at peace with Vanheim means that he has basically said, I'm not going to win this game, but at least I'm going to go down hurting Marcus as much as I possibly can. I can imagine that's the only thing going through Battlemoose's mind right now, because he has no one else that he can fight with. He's leaving Vanheim alone, even though Vanheim is a substantially greater threat than I am. I think he just wants to stir the pot a little bit. Meanwhile, Daz is being honorable to a fault, and he's carrying on this quest to eliminate Asphodel from the game before he does anything else. Since he's cut off the land route that Shiniyama can take, Shiniyama is taking the sea route. Around this time, Shiniyama is communicating with me saying, hey, don't take... I think it was actually the turn before. He said, don't take Utter Deep. You know, we're moving toward that. And I said, that's fine. At this point, my goal was to just establish a water route to Asphodel's capital. That's kind of where I'm focusing on right now. My goal is to take Typhoon Sea and then go up here at this point in the game. It looks like Daz took Haloma. Now I was communicating with him just to see, like, what's going on? Are you at war with Vanheim? But he responded and said, no, Vanheim just took it and then gave it to me. Which is really smart on Vanheim's part, if you really consider it, because Vanheim knows that I'm at peace with Daz, and I don't want to cause him any trouble. By giving him this province, Vanheim prevents me from taking it, while at the same time prevents me from using it as a spring point to attack Vanheim, which I could have done through Rasenna and Darkwoods. So that was actually a really good strategic move there, taking the province and then letting Daz have it for free. One of the troubles I've been facing in this game in general is that my movements have been curtailed. Vanheim has done a very effective job of preventing me from doing what I'm good at. He's blocked me from the water purposefully so that I can't get my superior amphibious troops down there, and he has it. Which is a defensive thing for him too, of course, because his capital is just right there. So if I were to get into the water, I'd be literally bordering his capital. He's done a very good job of just moving around and preventing me from doing anything. Meanwhile, I'm kind of stuck here because I'm at peace with Daz and Shiniyama. And of course, I'm not even going to attempt Griffin Spires when they have all those Springhawks. That'll crush one of my armies at this point. We might do better than I think, just because of the regeneration. But they also fly, so they might be able to take out whoever's leading the army. It's just, you don't want to mess with Springhawks if you can avoid it. But right now, moving forward, my main challenge is just defending against Ulm. And my plan at this point is to hunker up in this fortress that's going to be built here. Of course, as you'll see in the next episode, plans don't always... How's the saying go? Plans don't survive first contact with the enemy. And that is exactly what happens. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Marcus Aurelius. This is Dominions 4, a 7-player, multiplayer, free-for-all campaign. We are Agartha, and it doesn't appear at this moment as if we are going to win. But we will continue to persevere. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.